In the palace of Messina there lived two ladies, whose names were Hero and Penet, Penelope. Beatrice. Hero was the daughter of Leoneto, the governor of, of Messina, and Beatrice, Beatrice was his niece. Beatrix had a lively temper and loved to divert her cousin Hero, who was a more serious person with her lively ways. Beatrice was fascinated by most of the things she saw. One day, some young men of high rank in the army were passing through Messina on their return from a war that had just ended. In the war, they had distinguished themselves by their great bravery, and now they had come to visit Leonato. Don Pedro, the Prince of Aragon, and his friend Claudio, who was Lord of Florence, were among these men. With them came the wild and witty Benedict, who was also a lord of Padua. This stranger had been to Messina before, and the kind governor had introduced them to his daughter and his niece. Now, Benedict, the moment he entered the governor's palace, began a friendly conversation with Leonato and the prince. Beatrice, who did not like to be left out of conversation, decided to interrupt Benedict. "I wonder, why were you talking so much, Mr. Benedict?" she said abruptly. "Nobody's listening to you." Benedict was usually as rude and foolish as Beatrice, but he was not pleased at this rude interruption. He thought it was not suitable for a well-bred lady to be so flippant with her tongue. Then he remembered that when he was last at Messina, Beatrice used to play jokes and pranks on him. Now people who like to play jokes are the ones most likely to hate being made fun of, and it was the same with Benedict and Beatrice. There had always been a rivalry between these two jokers, and whenever they met, they had always parted mutually displeased with each other. Therefore, when Beatrice stopped him in the middle of his speech by telling him that nobody was listening to him, Benedict pretended not to have noticed her presence in the room. What, my dear Lady Disdain, you're still alive, he said. This sparked a pressure between them, and a long argument ensued. Beatrice, although she knew he had so well demonstrated his strength and bravery in the late war, said that she could have killed more enemies than him with her eyes closed, and observing how the prince took delight in Benedict's conversation, she called him the Prince Jester. These remarks sank deeper into the mind of Benedict than all the things Beatrice had said before. He knew himself to be a brave man. So her accusation that he was a weak cord did not hurt him. However, there is nothing that great with hate more than being accused of popularity, because the accusation usually comes a little too close to the truth. Hence, Benedict hated Beatrice when she called him the Prince Jester. The modest lady hero was silent before all the noble guests. Meanwhile, Claudio was attentively observing how beautiful she had become over the years. He contemplated the exquisite grace of her fine figure, while the prince was being amused with listening to the humorous dialogue between Benedict and Beatrice. She's a pleasant, spirited young lady, the prince said to Leonate. She'd make an excellent wife for Benedict. Oh no, my lord, Leonato replied. They would talk themselves mad within the first week of marriage. Although Leonato thought that Benedict and Beatrice would make a travel couple, the prince did not give up the idea of matching the two together.